the Brainstorm. Hater and Peepers have had it with Yonder and Sylvia basically basically interrupting their plans and not letting them conquer worlds and planets. And they just go to this boardroom and discuss different ideas, which is what the name of the episode stands for, the Brainstorm, in which they think of ideas on how to conquer this next planet. And whatever Peepers comes up with, Hater just disapproves of it and mentions, but Wonder's gonna do this, he probably will do this, and we're still back on base one, or whatever, on step one. And Peepers is doing everything he can to bring up a good idea, but of course Hater brings up something else that will ruin the idea thanks to Wander's antics, from using Doom Dragons to conquer this galaxy, but then Wander and Sylvia are gonna use this and blah blah blah. Oh, we're gonna use this ray to do something. Wander and Sylvia are gonna have headphones and they're gonna dance around, and it's thanks to their antics that we're gonna get this plan ruined. And then the banjo. Yeah, the banjo. And yes, that's how the episode ends, with the banjo. I find that ending funny. Also, if you've seen Andy Bean with his banjo during the San Diego Comic-Con, if you've been there, you know the skills of the banjo. And it's awesome. What else was I gonna say about this episode? There's no moral, but still it's funny. There's this scene in which Hater is discussing with Peepers about how they plan on having the princess of this planet, which looks like mole people but with eyes, having Hater marry this princess, but then Hater's like, but Wonder's gonna be disguised as the princess, and do you want me to marry Wonder? Like that kind of thing. And I find it funny because of course there's shippers online, especially on Tumblr. There's people who ship Hater and Wonder, and they call it the skeleton dance, of course. It's very, very easy, and this episode just fueled the shippers. Oh god. And there's this other scene in which they're like, oh, maybe we just retire, we're gonna be best buds, and I do mean like Peepers and Hater are gonna be best buddies in their old age. But then they hit on this woman, and they fight each other, and then they end up losing the girl, and of course Hater does this comment later on that, why wouldn't you let me have her, and we would have been happy together, and like, whatever. It's so funny how Hater's mind works. Like, in certain episodes he looks so intimidating, but of course he's still funny. But with episodes like these, like this one, I mean, with episodes like these, and yes, I do mean these because there's many episodes, you see how Hater is just a big dork. And I mean it, like a big, literal dork. He has sneakers underneath his robe. Which villain with a freaking robe do you see having sneakers? Very rarely, and that's hilarious because he's a big dork, he's a big nerd, and I don't mean like the typical glasses with freckles or whatever. He's a nerd, he's a dork, and it's adorable. And Peepers is just trying his best to be a commander, like, yes, I have this title, I have a responsibility, you might be my lord, but still, god damn it, Hater, do your job! And if you've seen the San Diego Comic-Con panel, especially on YouTube, I'll link it here. Watch it, please. I ask a question there, in which a little kid asks if Commander Peepers is even more evil than Hater, and that was amazing. It made Tom Kenny laugh. And everyone's like, that kid, he's gonna be the next, he's gonna be the villain of the next season. It was hilarious. And of course, you really have to question Hater's mentality and even, well, basically what he is, because at the beginning of the show, you kind of get an idea that, hey, this guy is like the big deal, but at the same time, he's kind of a dork. But then, as the show progresses, you kind of see that, hey, this guy might not be emotionally stable. Like, yes, he's a big dork, he has some anger issues, and also he's not mature enough to handle basically the job of conquering a galaxy, which compared to Peepers, he has more maturity, and you kind of question if it should be Peepers who should be conquering the galaxy, but maybe Hater has something that others don't, and maybe that's the reason why Hater is conquering these planets in the first place. But at the same time, it could be because he wants to feel accomplished or something. Many teenagers want that, and Hater does have sort of the mentality of a teenager. Come on, a conqueror with a robe, wearing sneakers underneath his robe, who does that? Well, Lord Hater does. And so, yeah, no moral, like in many of these episodes, but still a fun one. And it ends with a banjo.